questions to prove it. Each question will get harder. Can you get a perfect score? Let's find out. Alright, let's start with the first question. Welcome back, everybody. Alright, the first question is, which country is known as the birthplace of modern football? Which country is known as the birthplace of modern football? Also, today we're doing 20 questions instead of 25. We're just going to test it out. There's less chances for you to make mistakes because each mistake is now worth 5% instead of 4%. Interesting math. Alright. Answers locked. Are you still thinking? Which country is known as the birthplace of modern football? The answer is England. Also, I have to do an apology. In the previous video I just uploaded, I said George Best was from England. Now, it wasn't part of a question, it was just my rambling. However, my apologies. Thank you for correcting me. He is from Northern Ireland. I did not know Northern Ireland had such a great player. So, anytime I make a mistake or you just want to share some knowledge, feel free. I am learning as much as you are. Every one of these videos. So that's very, very cool. So thank you. Alright, question number 2. Who won the FIFA World Cup in 2006? Which was 20 years ago. My goodness. I remember still being in elementary school. Right? I think so. Wait, how old am I? No, I was in grade... Oh gosh, wow, wait. I don't want to do math. I was 12. Ooh, 12 years old. Which means I was in grade 6. Has to be grade 6. Yeah, I was grade 6. Yeah, grade 6 here in Canada. Nice. Who won the World Cup? I can still see it in my mind. Who was it? Again, there will be hints every now and then. But for the easy questions, I probably shouldn't give any hints. The hint for this question was, I was 12 when the World Cup in 2006 was held. Does that help you? No, it doesn't. But that's a random fact for you. Alright, answers are locked. The winner of the 2006 World Cup was Italy. Now, there is a cool fact. No, I will not say nothing. Alright, question. It's a hint for a future question, so I'm not going to say anything. Question number 3. Which player is nicknamed the Egyptian King? I wonder who it is. Now again, I said this before, I'll say it again. Watching my previous videos will help you in a lot of these quizzes, because facts are facts, no matter the video. So, a lot of the times, they will either repeat or be very, very similar from different types of videos. So, which player is nicknamed the Egyptian King? I feel like there's one obvious one, but there should be more Egyptian players that were good or are currently good that hopefully I know. That'll be cool. I really like learning about the countries that are not so known for football. Like, I think it's Chetri from India. The only reason I know is because he was a free agent. In which FIFA game he was a free agent, and I used to sign him when I was doing like a second division English side, trying trying to bring them to the Premier League. Anyway, the answers are locked. The answer is Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah. One of the greatest Liverpool players of all time. Question number 4. Now we're going very, very basic with this one. What color card is shown for a sending off? What color card is shown for a sending off? Now, if you played soccer or football like I did, then you have got a lot of these. I'm just kidding. I was pretty good. I got 1 yellow card. But the guy dove. Okay, I didn't even foul him. It looked like I did, but I didn't. And I get a yellow card. For what? Anyway, but if I did get sent off, did I say the answer already? I said yellow card. Oh no. Anyway, I'll just pretend that I didn't if I did. The color card that is shown for sending off is a red card. A red card. Yellow card for a warning. Red card. You're out of here. Alright. Last question of the easy section. Now, because there's only 20 questions today, there's 4 categories. Easy, medium, let me just double check, hard, and very hard. So for the easy, it says confidence boost. That's the title of it. Because we're giving you some easy ones. You're on a roll. But now we're going to the medium. It says think carefully. So think carefully, okay? Question number 6. Which country won the Women's World Cup in 2019? Now, I don't know, it wasn't this one. It was my favorite World Cup. I think it was the 2017 Women's World Cup. Was it 2017 or 2015? I don't remember. And I don't want to tell you because, okay, you know what? I'll tell you. Here's a hint. This answer is not Japan. The one I loved watching was when Japan won. And if Japan never won, then I don't know what I was watching. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure Japan won one of these. Which country won the World Cup in 2019? Answers are locked. The answer is arguably the greatest, that's debatable, but one of the greatest women's national teams of all time. The United States. United States of America. United States of America. I would say Brazil. I think Germany was pretty good. I think Spain is pretty good. As a Portuguese man, the Portuguese women's team are not that good, I don't think. Last time I checked, they were like 60 or 30 in the rankings. But you never know. Canada's pretty good, though, in the Women's World Cup. Hopefully they can do well in the Men's World Cup this year, but we'll see. If they end up winning, come back to this video. Why does my camera make me look like I'm sickly? I look green. That's okay, we're gonna leave it. Because green means correct. Alright, question number 7. Who was the captain of Spain's World Cup winning team in 2010? Okay, so I turned off a setting and I feel like I look better. The color's better. So for the first 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna look like the Hulk. Nice. Anyway, sorry. The captain of Spain's World Cup winning team in 2010. So far, we went to the 2006 World Cup. We know it's Italy. 2010 was Spain. 2014 was Germany. was Argentina. And 2026 is Canada. Let's go. Alright. Who was the captain of the 2010 winning team? I like this question because a lot of these Spanish players should be captain. A lot of them are great players and did a lot for the team. But the actual captain of the Spain World Cup winning team in 2010 was my favorite goalie of all time, Iker Casillas. Iker Casillas. I think that's how you pronounce it. Iker Casillas. Casillas. Alright, question number 8. Which league is commonly considered the top division in Italy? Why is this a question in medium category? I will never know. Which league is commonly considered the top division in Italy? What is the name of the league? I wonder if this league has changed names over time. A lot have. It used to be the Barclays Premier League. Now it's not. But it was known as the Premier League. So maybe it's just the sponsor that changes, but the actual name probably doesn't change that often. Alright, which league is commonly considered the top division in Italy? You guessed it. Serie A. And the league below that is Serie B. And the one below that is Serie C. Maybe, I don't know, probably. What if there's a Serie Z? That's where I would be. Alright, question number 9. Which player famously said, "I don't believe in pressure"? Which player famously said, "I don't believe in pressure"? That's crazy. That's something I would say before missing the net. Do you know who this player is? For 0.5 points, I will give you a hint. This player says a lot of crazy things. This player says a lot of crazy things. And if you're wondering, I'm not sure if this person would say such a thing. It's definitely not them then. Because this person would definitely say such a thing. Answers are locked. The player that famously said, "I don't believe in pressure," is the one, the only, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. What a guy. You gotta love the confidence though. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. But I think if you can back up what you say, it's probably confidence. Alright, question number 10, the last question of the medium category, and officially halfway through the quiz, which is kind of cool. With 20 questions, you can actually get halfway. With the 25 questions, 12 and 13 is kind of the halfway point, you know. So, which club won the Champions League in 2020? This is one of my questions I like. It's not leading you on with anything like the Egyptian king. You know it's an Egyptian player. This is just straight up who won in 2020. Do you remember? If not, you gotta take a guess. 2020. What happened in 2020? Which club was playing? Who was in the final? I don't even know. If I did, I would tell you a hint, which would be the two teams in the final. But I can't. My hint is that it is not Real Madrid. Real Madrid did not win in 2020. That's my hint. It could be any other team. Any other team. By the way, for those of you who are watching this shortly after uploading, or even those who have good memory and are watching this in the future, Real Madrid just played a game against Benfica, which is one of my favorite teams. And Benfica scored with their goalie, with his header, in extra time to drop Real Madrid from automatic qualification to the Champions League, something like that. They have to do like extra games now, which is very, very interesting. And it was Jose Mourinho's team who did it to his old team, which is really cool. Anyway, the club that won the Champions League in 2020 was Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. Munich. Alright. We're going on to question 11, which is the hard category, which only true fans should know. So are you a true fan? Here we go. Question number 11. Now I'm going to modify this question because I think it was too easy. Or I could just not tell you that and just tell you the question. The question is, which nation won the World Cup without conceding a goal in the knockout stage? I never knew this was the case. And I watched the tournament. I never knew this was the case. And thinking about it, I'm trying to think, I'm like, is this right? I'm trying to decide because I know it's probably right. I can argue with facts. And if Google says it, then it's definitely a fact. What was I trying to say? I'm trying to say that this team deserves to win if that's the case. They have not conceded a goal in the knockout stage during this entire World Cup. What was the team? I will not give you a hint. Actually, I'm going to give you a hint. But you're going to get 0.1 points. 10% of a point. The answer is the team that won in 2006. The original question of this was, which nation won the World Cup in 2006 without conceding a goal in the knockout stage? But seeing as we just discussed who won in 2006, I couldn't ask you that. Answers are locked. The answer is Italy. And seeing how Italy is definitely a defensive-minded team, it makes sense that they wouldn't concede a goal. Pretty cool. Alright. Question number 12. Who scored the winning penalty? That's not right. See, there's another flaw in this quiz. Who scored the winning goal in the Euro 2016 final? Because it wasn't a penalty. Who scored the winning goal in the Euro 2016 final? I will give you a hint. I don't think this would give it away too much. I know for a fact that this is not the case because I watched this, because I celebrated this, because I am Portuguese, and the winning team was Portugal in Euro 2016. So which player scored the winning goal for Portugal in Euro 2016 final? Are your answers locked? Here we go. The person who scored the winning goal in Euro 2016 final is the one, the only, Cristiano. Just kidding. Eder, 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 the absolute legend, who will forever be cemented in Portuguese history with that goal that brought a young, actually no, it was only 10 years ago, a young Dano to tears. Alright, question number 13. Which club has won the most Copa Libertadores titles? Copa Libertadores titles, which I think is the tournament for Mexican football, right? Let me see. Okay, I'm wrong again. It's not the Mexican League tournament. It's even bigger than that. How did I forget this? It's like CONCACAF for North America, and it's like the Champions League for Europe. It is South America's Champions League, essentially. The Copa Libertadores. So which team has won the most titles? I feel like we had this question already in one of my previous videos. I have gas, but I don't have a clue if that was already included. If it is, then you get a free bonus point if you watch my previous videos, which I'm telling everyone to get extra help with these questions. The hint for this question is I'm pretty sure it's an Argentinian team, if my memory serves correct. If not, please correct me, just like the George Best one. Which team won the most Copa Libertadores titles? Answers are locked. The answer is Independiente. Independiente. I know for a fact I said Independiente before because it's a fun word to say. Independiente. So there was a question about them. Maybe it was the same question. Who knows? Question number 14. Who was the first footballer to win the Ballon d'Or twice? Who was able to win the Ballon d'Or twice? Which footballer? If you're confused again, the Ballon d'Or is an award given out to the best player. So this person was known as the best player 2 years, not necessarily in a row, but twice. And they were the first one to win it twice. Who was it? I feel like these questions will get harder. They're supposed to get harder. I think there's one in the very hard category that is not hard at all. I'll tell you that much. I was looking through these questions, but I left it in there. Alright, question number 14. Who was the first footballer to win the Ballon d'Or twice? It is not Ronaldo, and it is not Messi, that's right. It is not Pele, it is not Maradona. It is not Kaká. It is not Luis Figo. It is not Modric. It is not Ruud Gullit. It is not George Best. It is the one, the only, Alfredo Di Stefano. Alfredo Di Stefano. My favorite English player. I'm just kidding. Did you guys get the answer? Alright, last question in the hard category. We have question 15. Which country eliminated Brazil in the 1982 World Cup? What does this even say? In one of the most famous matches ever played. And I feel like this should have a cool name. So I'm going to try to find the name now. Give me a second. Okay, so I actually have a couple of facts here about that game, which is interesting, which I will tell you after, obviously, because I can't tell you exactly what happened. The only thing I can tell you is that Brazil lost, and it was kind of crazy because they were the tournament favorites. So which country eliminated them? 1982. Here's a hint. Apparently, the opposing team, one player scored 3 goals. They had a hat trick in that game, which is actually kind of crazy. Alright, answers are locked. The country that eliminated Brazil in the 1982 World Cup in one of the most famous matches ever played is Italy. Italy, 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 Italy. Today's video is sponsored by Italy. So here's a couple of facts here. It's called, where is it? It's called the Tragedia do Sardia, or the Sardia tragedy, because the stadium was the Sardia Stadium in Barcelona, where this game took place. It was a second round group stage match. And Paolo Rossi scored a hat trick. And it says, widely regarded as one of the greatest in football history, representing a defeat of Brazil's attacking philosophy. Interesting. Again, Italy is very, very well known for their defense. So you get a very, very attacking team versus a very, very defensive team. Who won? Apparently the defensive team. Your best offense is a good defense. Remember that. Alright, question number 16. And we're finally in the very hard category. You need elite knowledge to get these questions correct. Alright. Okay. Here we go. Question number 16. Which player won the Golden Ball? So the person who scored the most goals gets the Golden Ball. Which player won? Oh wait, no, that's the MVP, right? The Golden Boot is the most goals. Yeah, this is the MVP. Which player won the Golden Ball at the 2014 World Cup, despite losing in the final? Which player won the Golden Ball in the 2014 World Cup, despite losing in the final? Now again, this is the question I'm saying is too easy because it's too new. I'm expecting a very hard category to be like, back in the 1910s, which team beat this team in the quarterfinals of this random tournament? Alright, answers are locked. Here we go. Which player won the Golden Ball at the 2014 World Cup despite losing in the final? I can't give you a hint for this one. No hint. Answers are locked. The answer is Argentina lost in the final. Lost to Germany. And the player who won the Golden Ball was Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi. One of the greatest of all time. Alright, question number 17. I am very, very curious what this is, so I'm going to check after I read the question. Here we go. Which club was banned from European competition following the Heysel disaster? The Heysel disaster. Heysel. Okay, so I did a little bit of research, and that's very, very interesting. So which club was banned from European competition following the Heysel disaster? Alright, answers are locked. Here's your hint. It is a pretty popular team. Like, I'm not saying it's the most popular, but it's one of the most popular. Like, if you heard this team's name, you'll be, oh yeah, of course. You know, that could also just be my bias, but you know. Alright, answers are locked. The club that was banned from European competition following the Heysel disaster was, technically, there's 2 points, or 2 answers I'll accept. Technically, it was Liverpool who was the cause of it, but all English clubs were banned. So here's some context, and this is really, really cool. Well, not what happened was cool, but just learning history. I like learning history. On May 29th, 1985, it was the final of the European Cup, which is the Champions League, in Brussels. The Heysel Stadium is where they were playing, but the maintenance on it, on the stadium, was not updated. So the stadium wasn't up to date. It failed inspections. But what happened was Liverpool fans were acting a fool, apparently. It says a riot caused by English football hooligans basically caused the stadium to collapse, which actually killed some people and injured a bunch more. So 39 people died, 600 people were injured. So because of all that hooliganery, that's not even a word, because of all that, FIFA just said, get out of here, you're banned. No, UEFA said, no more competing in Europe. I wonder when the ban was taken out. Interesting. The more you know. Wow. I still want to do a video of like historic moments, so we could go through the history and things like that. I think that'd be interesting. Question number 18. Who is the all-time top scorer in Copa America history? Copa America is the South American tournament for national teams, just like the Euro Cup is for Europe. The Gold Cup is for North America. Do I know the rest? You get the idea. Okay. Which player was top scorer in history? All-time top scorer. Now, I will give you all a hint. There's actually two. So if you give any of those answers, I'll give you 1 point. If you get both, I'll give you 2 points. So there's apparently two that are tied. Who can it be? This person that I did not see. But I know because I read the question. The all-time, answers a lot by the way, the all-time top scorer in Copa America history is tied. It's between Norberto Mendes and Zizinho. It doesn't take much to know that Zizinho is from Brazil. Norberto Mendes, I don't know where they're from. It also doesn't say how many goals they scored. But the interesting thing is, it's not Messi, it's not Neymar, it's not any of the more recent names, which is interesting. Okay, so a little bit of research here. They both scored 17 goals each. Norberto Mendes is from Argentina. Zizinho is from Brazil. And if you're wondering, if you guess Messi actually has 14 goals. So, close. Alright, second last question. Question number 19. Which national team played the most matches before winning their first World Cup? Which national team played the most matches before winning their first World Cup? All I know is, who's that team that loses every game and they celebrated when they won their first game? Oh, why am I blanking now? Not the Cayman Islands. What's their team name? Oh my gosh, they're like a meme on FIFA. They're the lowest ranked team. No, but I love those guys. When they win, it will be historic. I want them to win one day. That'll be amazing. I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Okay, which national team played the most matches before winning their first World Cup? Okay, so the team is San Marino. I don't know why I didn't know that. I love that team. Alright, so which national team played the most matches before winning their first World Cup? Answers a lot. The answer, actually, you know what? Here's a hint. It's a well-known national team. So that should give you a hint. Just choose one of them. Alright, answers are locked. The answer is Spain. Spain. And the first time they won was in 2010. Can you believe it? Alright, so apparently they played 50 games in the World Cup. So not qualifying the World Cup finals. And they played 7 games in 2010, so 43 games before then. And they've been playing since 1934. And previously, their best result was 4th place in 1950. So to go from that far all the way to winning in 2010 just shows you never give up. Speaking of which, never give up on trying to be perfect in these quizzes, because here comes the last question. If you're on 19 out of 20, one more question between you and glory. Here it is. Here's the last question. Which goalkeeper kept the most clean sheets in a single World Cup tournament? Which goalkeeper kept the most clean sheets in a single World Cup tournament? And if you're not a big fan of soccer or football, this does not mean how many times they did not wet the bed or do their laundry. A clean sheet is when a goalkeeper does not allow any goals in. So the score stays at 0 against them. No goals allowed. So how many games was no goal scored on this goalkeeper? Okay, so for this question, here's the hint. There's actually 3 goalkeepers that are tied for this answer. So if you give me any one of those goalkeepers, then you get a point. If you get 2 out of the 3, you get 2 points. If you get 3 out of 3, you get 3 points. And why not? I'll give you a bonus point if you tell me what year it happened for each goalkeeper. Alright, so a bunch of bonus points to try and make up any questions you may have gotten incorrect. And here is the hint. Somewhere in this quiz, a previous question can help you with this question. It's very vague, but if you know, you know. Alright, I'm gonna have to lock in the answers here. The answer for the final question, question number 20. Which goalkeeper kept the most clean sheets in a single World Cup tournament? Here is the answer based off my hint. Today's video is sponsored by Italy. Which Italian team won by not conceding in the knockout stages of this tournament? 2006. Which goalkeeper played in 2006? Arguably the greatest Italian goalkeeper of all time, Gianluigi Buffon. Gianluigi Buffon. Great player. That was in 2006. Also in 2006, Switzerland, Pascal Zuber Buehler. Pascal Zuber Buehler. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry about that. It was also in 2006. And what's impressive is that they did it despite being eliminated in the round of 16. Damn, imagine doing all that and still getting eliminated. And the first one to do this was Fabien Barthez from France, and this was in the 1998 World Cup. Yeah, shout out to the goalkeepers, unsung heroes of soccer and football. Alright, how did you do? It's not over yet, you know the drill. We got our bonus question today. It's worth only 1 point, but that's okay. Here is the bonus question. Which player is the only footballer to score in a World Cup, a European Championship, Copa America, an Olympic final? Now, for this purpose, European Championship is not the Euro Cup. Okay. It's Champions League or Europa League. Because I read this, I'm like, wait a minute. Copa America and Euro Cup, they can't do that. European Championship. So the only footballer, which is a cool stat, only footballer to score in a World Cup, a European Championship, Copa America, an Olympic final. Here's your hint. Copa America means they're from South America. Olympic final means they played in the Olympics. European Championship means, most likely, the Champions League. And World Cup is World Cup. Which player scored in all 4 of these? Now, I can think of some players, but the fact that they're not on this list means that despite how good those players are, there's one that's better. Well, maybe not. But there's one that was able to do it even when they couldn't. Answers are locked. The impossible bonus question. Which player is the only footballer to score in a World Cup, a European Championship, a Copa America, and Olympic final? Does this mean... Hold up. Let me rephrase this question, because does this mean in the final of all 4 of these? Or is it just saying generically World Cup anytime, European Championship anytime, Copa America anytime, and then Olympic final? Or does it mean the finals of all 4? Let's just read it how it's written and just say the Olympic final. Either way, it should give you the same answer. The answer is Neymar, who has scored in all 4 of them. Okay, that was all the questions for today. How much did you get right? And let me know in the comments below if I made any mistakes again. We're only human. Alright, let me know which videos you want to see next. Any ideas, any thoughts, any suggestions, please let me know. And yeah, take care of yourself. Eat well, sleep well, love one another. And I will see you guys shortly. Leave a like, subscribe, do all that stuff to watch more videos, or watch my previous videos so you get hints for the next quiz. Here we go. Have a great sleep, everybody. Sleep, 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 sleep.